Now for this video, I'm going to stay as neutral as I can. No. That was a joke, wasn't it? It wasn't. Oh. It's been a few hours now since Apple invented USB-C and a proper telephoto lens. Is it proper though? You're probably thinking, I've seen this before. You have. On the S23 Ultra. Today, we're going to look at 10 ways that the S23 Ultra is still better than the new iPhone 15 Pro Max. Let's go. Hello everyone, welcome back to Tech with Benefits. Daniel here, and we're going to jump straight into it. Firstly, actually though, I'd like to thank Alex Gear and Tech for the idea for this video. I know this is a better phone, and it's worth letting you know the ways that I know it's better. So without further ado, I think that's the word. Let's start with number one, the design. That might sound like a bit of a weird one because the S23 Ultra isn't much different from the S22 Ultra. But then again, the iPhone 15 Pro Max isn't much different from the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Allow me to explain why the design is better. The S23 Ultra is a big phone. No questions about that. It is massive. Samsung though, the S23 Ultra makes steps to make it feel not as cumbersome in the hand. The way they do this is by making it slightly curved on the display. I know there's rumors that might be going away next year, but for now we still have it. And also the curves around the frame kind of make it more ergonomic to hold in the hand. It's not cutting in and deep and sharp. Now I know Apple has slightly tweaked that type of thing with their 15 Pro Max, but that doesn't change the fact that the S23 Ultra still has those curves to make it feel nice and comfortable when you're holding it in the hand. Also, while we're on the design, it's very clean and minimalist. Although that's down the fact that there's not a million buttons. And that seems weird to say that about a Samsung phone, but hear me out. Apple put in the new action button, which is programmable. This power button is also programmable. A double tap or double press will launch the camera, but you can program that to open anything that you like on your phone. So yeah, design, S23 Ultra. Number two is the display. Now again, Apple talk about their 2000 nits brightness. And I know that in that sense, they've got a brighter display when it gets to those peak levels. But Samsung has technology in here that whilst it goes up to 1750 nits, its adaptive vision booster means that its color accuracy will actually increase as much as the brightness goes up as well. I've spoken about this in the past. It has 3 stages of brightness and color boosting that make it more accurate depending on the brightness levels that you're in. Also, it's an O-shaped cutout that has minimal intrusion on the display itself. And I know Apple has the dynamic island with software, but it just is so much more intrusive, and Apple don't allow you to switch off the dynamic island at all. So it is permanently going to be this black bar that is in the way. Whereas Samsung has a nice big giant display without distractions that get in the way. Number 3 is the ultrasonic fingerprint scanner. And you might be wondering, why is this better than Face ID, 3D Face ID? The reason why I find it better to have ultrasonic is I can unlock it in any sort of way I need to. Whether that be just pulling it out of my pocket and pulling it onto the ultrasonic fingerprint scanner and pulling it up. Whether that be when it's lying flat on the desk away from me, I can use any one of my 4 fingers I have registered to unlock it from that level. It's just hidden as well. There doesn't need to be this array of sensors that make up the dynamic island because it's completely under the display. There's no distraction from it, and it is every bit as secure because it's ultrasonic, not optical. So yes, ultrasonic fingerprint scanner is still a reason that it's better. Number 4 might be a controversial one, seeing as how Apple just announced the 3nm processor, but it's battery life. Hear me out. I'm not talking about battery size because yes, on paper, the 5000 mAh battery of the S23 Ultra is better than the Apple's 15 Pro Max, which they didn't really tell us, but it was rumored to be about the same as the 14 Pro Max. But why the battery life is better is because Apple didn't say anything about a longer battery life. Normally in their keynotes, they say plus 1 hour or plus 2 hours, but there was no mention of that on their spec sheets this year. So it has me to believe that they're either going to be the same or thereabouts as the 14 Pro Max, which, if we've been keeping up with how reviewers have been reviewing the iPhone 14 Pro Max, hasn't been great. Battery life, yes, will be better on the S23 Ultra. While we're on that, number 5 is 45 watt fast charging. Obviously, I know there's faster charging out there, but when we're comparing these two phones that are available on this global scale, the 45 watt fast charging is going to give you a faster charge. You can go from 0 to 100 in just under an hour, or thereabouts an hour. In any case, it's quick. Now, I know it's a separate accessory that you have to purchase, but that is also the same if you're buying a charger for an iPhone. If you're going to buy a charger, you have a better option with this versus the 15 Pro Max. With the 45 watt fast charging, it of course uses USB-C. And today's sponsor, Aohi, gives you the last cable you will ever need. Aohi sent out this premium cable package for me to check out. This set is a game changer for us tech enthusiasts, as it is not just another charging cable. Arriving in this ultra high-end package, it is the world's first custom length cable set. With 4 different cable sizes in the box, these are all compatible with different types of phones, tablets, laptops, and more. Featuring 3.1 power delivery fast charging, up to 240 watts in speed, these are MFI certified to make them super compatible. The real hero is the custom lengths you can create and quick switching between sizes, as you can see by all the different sizes in the box that you've got here. And it's one long cable. It even features a handy carry case to store them in for when you go traveling. Check out the link in the description, and thank you to Aohi for sponsoring this video. Number 6 is another tying into battery, and it's not even new. It's been around since the S10. It's Powershare. You can use the back of the S23 Ultra to charge not only other phones, which isn't really the point that I would make. Yes, it gets people out of a jam, but where this really comes into handy is when you need to charge your peripherals. Whether that be your Galaxy Watch 6 Classic, whether that be your Buds 2 Pro, you have the option to charge your own ecosystem off the back of your S23 Ultra. Let's see Apple do that. Number 7 isn't necessarily one specific feature, but it's like a category of features. It's productivity. It's things like being able to launch multi-window. And I know people go, oh, the screen size is too small. You just aren't using it and haven't found the right use case for you yet. When you get the right use case, multi-window on the S23 Ultra can work perfectly. Whether that be dragging attachments into a message, whether that be having a banking app open and then needing to copy your bank details into a message, whether that be you've got a full screen app and you need a pop-up window for a message that you want to quickly reply to, all of those things can be done using the 6.8-inch screen on your S23 Ultra. That's not even taking into account productivity software like Samsung DeX. Samsung DeX is the ultimate way to take advantage of the power that your phone has and turn it into your computer. Again, another thing that the iPhone 15 Pro Max just does not have the capability of. Or at least they haven't found a way to put it in there yet. Because let's face it, the A17 will be perfectly capable of handling stuff like that. Apple just don't want to take advantage of the power that their phones have, which just seems crazy to me. Productivity also includes the S Pen. The S Pen, I can't believe that I've gone this long into the video without mentioning it. The S Pen transforms the S23 Ultra into another thing altogether. You've got all this stuff, 5,000 mAh battery, you've got the big giant display, you've got the amazing cameras, which we'll get to, but the S Pen is what truly sets this apart, not just from the iPhone 15 Pro Max, but from any phone on the market. I have made an entire video on the S Pen, so please make sure you go and check that out too, because that will show you what this thing's capable of. Number 8 is the camera hardware. I know that Samsung are using 3 and 10 times cameras from a few generations ago. But what I mean by the camera hardware is the total hardware package. The fact you have the ultra wide, the fact you have the 200 megapixel main camera, the fact you've got a 3 times telephoto and a 10 times telephoto. On the iPhone 15 Pro Max, that 1 times camera has got to handle everything between 1 and 5 times. I know that they've put in the 48 megapixel sensor, which obviously will crop optically to 2 times, and they have that button in. So does the S23 Ultra. But the S23 Ultra has a shorter distance to go, between 1 and 3 times. And let's face it, between 1 and 5 times is the zoom range most people are going to sort of sit between. Samsung know that, and give you the option between 3 and 10 handled by the 3 times. It's not ideal, but if we're listening to rumors, the S24 Ultra will have an improved 3 times camera that will handle that range a lot better. But you cannot deny that the 10 times lens is just far and away better for far away zoom. It's just going to be. There's no way that they can make that distance up with a 5 times camera versus a 10 times. And I guarantee the 30 times zoom will still be better on the S23 Ultra. But hardware is one thing. The other thing here to mention is camera software. Apple have, to their credit, have actually come a long way with their camera software in the last few generations, but they still just don't offer the fun and the flexibility that Samsung's camera systems have. So for that reason, camera software is what makes the S23 Ultra a better phone. Allow me to sort of demonstrate a couple of reasons. It's features like single take, for example. Single take is far and away Samsung's best camera feature that they've produced in the amount of times they've been making phones. They don't talk about it, and I just don't understand why. I have made a whole video of single take, so definitely go and check out that video, but it's just one of the camera features that make this camera software what it is. You also have things like 8K 30 frames per second recording, which just produce stunning 8K visuals, but also you can take a 33 megapixel screen grab out of that if you need a photo, and that produces stunning landscape photos if you could do it this way. It's features like Director's View, which allow you to record the front and the back camera at the same time, and then switch between the cameras that are native to the S23 Ultra's camera software. Expert RAW, you know, the list sort of goes on with its camera software, but that's what I mean by camera software. It's flexibility. And the last one is the price. The S23 Ultra is just a better buy, and at this point, considering it's been out for over 6 months already, you're going to get a great deal on it. Like just in Australia right now, $1,649 Australian dollars. iPhone 15 Pro Max, $2,199 for the 256. The value for money here is the S23 Ultra, and I know there's a lot of people that might not think that, but I absolutely do. The S23 Ultra is the option. It is better. I've given you 10 reasons why. Go and enjoy. Debate them in the comments. Whatever it is you want to do, good luck. But that's it for this week. I wanted to put this together just to remind you, this is still the king. So thank you for stopping by. Make sure you subscribe if you're new here. Come follow me on Twitter and Instagram in between now and my next video. And I'll see you then. You!